I'm sorry. But I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish.
This is Chris. Welcome to the world's first GYATT Fortnite podcast, where I'm happy that the tactical assault rifle has made its way back to Reload. Technically, someone else might already have a Fortnite podcast, but in the spirit of Fortnite, we weren't chosen by fate. We rewrote it with a golden mythic in hand, a mammoth pistol in hand. OG Season 3 has come back, and the new Mecha Rex skin is just one of the best reskins to drop. Congrats on that amazing redesign. In a wild turn of events, the Negan Walking Dead skin is making its arrival to Fortnite soon. The Kneecapper meets a mythic Lucille Bat, and this crossover collab, it just couldn't get any better. My favorite line of Negan's is, anybody moves, anybody says anything, cut the other boy's eye out and feed it to his father, and then we'll start. You can breathe, you can blink, you can cry. Hell, you're all gonna be doing that. Look at that. Taking it as a champ. It is rumored that Chapter 6, Season 3 will only be 35 days long. Big changes are about to take place. And if you're ready, let's dive in. Before moving on, I just want to let our listeners know that we're currently trying to build our following on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Small, independent podcasts like this one need all the support we can get to survive. Sharing, liking, commenting on socials, on TikTok and X, and following on social media is greatly appreciated and helps keep this afloat during turbulent times. Thank you. 23 episodes deep, 17 countries, 22 cities in America. And yet, I'm still talking to a microphone in a room that smells faintly of old V-Bucks and some of the best dark roasted coffee. Sometimes I wonder if the podcast is even real or if it's just my subconscious screaming into the void and Fortnite is the echo that screamed back. A banana with muscles nods at me in agreement. Peely knows. He always knows. The truth, I'm genuinely happy. Not the surface level smile for the camera happy, but the weird kind. You know, the kind of joy that sneaks up on you like a jump scare in a horror movie you forgot you were watching. I get to say things I care about, deep things, dumb things, important things, things that make zero sense unless you've been emoting in a virtual battlefield since chapter 1. Somewhere between the edits and the jokes, I realized I'm not just talking about Fortnite. I'm talking through Fortnite, using it like a cosmic walkie-talkie to reach people I'd never really meet otherwise. At 1 o'clock, I'm playing in the morning. It's like, we'll never get a chance to even share a conversation with you if I even pass at an actual real gas station at night. People who get it, people who maybe, just maybe, they feel seen when I say something like, the real storm circle was inside us all along. I never expected this podcast to connect this far to this many people from so many places. It started not really as a joke, but I guess, a weird, wobbly idea bouncing off the walls of my brain. But now it feels like something bigger. Like we've all wandered into a secret corner of the map that no one else marked. But we did, together. So, to those of you tuning in from cities I've never visited and countries I've never set foot in, thank you. You've turned this strange digital monologue into a shared mythos. And as we push forward into more episodes, just know I'm still loading, I'm still responding, still evolving. And somewhere deep within the code, the bus driver just whispered, keep going. Every day across the Fortnite island, they appear silhouetted on cliffs, hidden in vaults, wandering empty gas stations. They offer quests we don't read, weapons we cannot afford, and dialogue we skip before it finishes loading. This is the NPC Report. The NPC Report. I'm Chris, and every week we investigate the unspoken lives of Fortnite's most overlooked residents. Because even in a world full of sweats, rifts, and billion-dollar collaborations, someone still has to sell you a fishing rod. This is the NPC Report. He sells exotic weapons. He paces the same 8 feet of sand every single day. He doesn't blink. We checked multiple times. But who is he when the storm closes in? Today, we follow Bunker Jonesy, a man haunted by conspiracies, ghosts, and possibly himself. This is the NPC Report. The NPC Report. We report, they repeat. Today, we are going to follow Bunker Jonesy. And you're going to want to see this. You're listening to the NPC Report. This is Chris, your host. Each week, we peel back the curtain on the unsung residents of the island, the ones we walk past, shoot near, and awkwardly dance in front of, but never really see. They're called NPCs, but behind every predictable loop, there's a story. Let's begin. It's 7:02 a.m. The sun peeks over the dunes of the eastern coast, and Bunker Jonesy is already there, again, standing outside a derelict shack made of driftwood and paranoia. He hasn't moved in 7 minutes. His arms are crossed. His eyes are open, staring into the distance, or perhaps the void. We zoom in on his mouth, a slight twitch. He mutters, "They're watching." We try to approach. He doesn't flinch. Instead, he pulls out a bandage and offers it to us. We are at full health. Why? Is it kindness? A pre-programmed function? A desperate attempt to connect? We'll never know. But one thing is certain. He doesn't blink. Not once. He was once a default skin. Then he became something else. Some say he survived underground for seasons. Some say he's part of a resistance that doesn't exist anymore. Others say he never left. Today, we go deep into the cracked mind of a man living on the edge of the map and possibly reality. His name is Bunker Jonesy. He sells exotic weapons. He believes in the nothing. And he once tried to trade a flare gun for 3 coconuts and a pizza slice from the true timeline. But who is Bunker Jonesy? And what is he hiding behind that wild beard and bugged animation loop? We wanted answers. We got something else. He was already awake when we arrived, though we're not sure he ever really sleeps. He turned his head slowly and said, "They moved the vending machine. I told them not to." Not with the casual glance of someone acknowledging company, but with the unsettling focus of a man who's been waiting for you to arrive. And then he handed me a bandage. I ain't even asked for it. And our journey began. Was it a warning, a gesture of peace, or just an idle animation with delusions of purpose? I followed him for 12 hours. He walked in a irregular loop, about 8 feet wide, slightly elliptical, never straying too far from the edge of his shack, never turning his back to the ocean.
Anyway.
Always watching, like something out there might come back. There was no furniture inside his structure, no bed, no food, just a wooden crate and a hand-drawn map of the island taped to the wall. Everything was circled, everything. He whispered to himself, often, not in fear, not in madness, in calculation. Sometimes it was math. Other times, fragments of old Fortnite seasons. Tilted never fell. Tilted never fell. They replaced the fish with actors. This is just chapter 3 again in drag. I wrote down everything I could, but he never stopped moving. Not once. Even when a player walked up to him and bought a boom sniper, he spoke in riddles between reloads. Don't trust the floppers. That's where the chips are implanted. The loop is hungry. It eats hours. Have you seen the clock tower? No one ever asks why it's stuck. At one point, he reached into his pocket and pulled out 3 coconuts. He placed them in a perfect triangle on the sand. This is the Trinity, he said. Health, shield, memory. Then he just stared at them. I stared too. I don't know why. For a moment, I thought I saw one of them pulse. But maybe that was just the heat. When he did finally stop moving, it was to look directly at me and ask, "You've ever been deleted mid-update?" I didn't answer. I just wrote it down. Later, a group of players landed nearby. Loud, chaotic, covered in chrome. They ran past him. Didn't even look. One of them tried to emote in front of him. Bunker Jonesy didn't flinch. He simply muttered, "They don't see me. They only see my inventory." And I realized he's not just performing his programming. He's aware of it. He's resentful of it. But he does it anyway. At exactly midnight, he stopped walking. He turned to the ocean and said, "Tomorrow, I try again." Then he stared at the horizon until the storm closed in. I stayed just outside the circle listening. He didn't move. He didn't run. He let it come. And when it passed, he was still there, alive, standing exactly where he started. The following is an interview with Jonesy. Mr. Jonesy, can I ask, what is it that you believe you're doing here? I'm holding the line. Against what? What isn't it? The storm, the scripts, the patch notes. You, me, them, especially them. Balance patch 22.30. That wasn't balance. That was erasure. They're testing how much we'll forget. Are you saying you remember everything? Not all at once. It comes in bursts. A butterfly in my hand, a robot with my face. Kevin was never a cube. Kevin was a choice. You ever wake up and realize your footsteps don't echo anymore? No. Exactly. Interview 2, Turk. So, Turk, what's your relationship like with Bunker Jonesy? He's a right, keeps himself. One asked me if the floppers ever looked back at him. Said if I caught a 4th one, I should throw it back. Loop symmetry or something. Did you throw it back? Nah, fried it. Tastes like paranoia. Ever seen him off duty? I don't think he has an off. Even when he sits, looks like he's guarding something invisible. And I've seen him talk to a bush for 20 minutes. Might have been a player in there. Might have been just a bush. Interview 3, Oscar. So, Oscar, do you interact with Bunker often? Rarely. Our spawn points don't cross much. But he's noticeable. He moves like he's trying to not trigger something. Trigger what? That's the part that's unsettling. He talks like there's a failsafe. Like if he says too much, we all get wiped. Do you think he's lying? I think he's remembering. Does that scare you? What scares me is how much what he says sounds insane until it happens 2 updates later. Interview 4, random player. So, do you know Bunker Jonesy? The dude with the beard in the bunker? Yeah, total weirdo. Bought a rocket launcher from him, and he said every bullet has a purpose, even the missed ones. And how did that make you feel? I don't know, man. I was just trying to third party a fight near Slappy. He freaks me out. I hit him with the gritty, lighten the mood. He said, this dance is how they map your soul. Who says that? Apparently he does. Yeah, well, I switched vendors. That guy needs patch therapy.
Hey, where you at?
Is this thing on? All right, cool. All right. It's been 2 days. I've seen him gift bandages to rocks, draw circles in the sand with his pickaxe, and whisper, 0 Point is listening to a tomato. But every time I think he's lost, he says something that hits too close. Today, he said, you all think the storm's closing in, but it doesn't. It's us shrinking. I didn't have a comeback for that. He handed me a coconut and I walked away. I don't even like coconuts. We often think of NPCs as tools, static markers, the island's background noise. But today I saw something else, something closer to human. A man who's been standing on the same patch of sand for 3 years, selling rocket launchers to strangers and whispering truths no one asked for. A man who knows he's stuck, who remembers just enough to ache about it, who might not even want to escape anymore, just to be understood. Bunker Jonesy doesn't need to be right. He needs to be real. He doesn't blink. He doesn't run. He doesn't emote when you win. He just watches. And in that stillness, he's doing something most of us forget to do. He's paying attention. He knows every reboot van's location by heart. He remembers where the vending machines used to be. And he's watched Tilted Towers rise and fall more times than he's eaten a mushroom. We drop in. We leave. And we forget. But he doesn't. And maybe that's his curse. Or maybe that's his gift. I don't know what Bunker Jonesy was before this loop. Maybe a soldier, maybe a clone, maybe just a glitch Epic forgot to delete. But I do know what he is now. He's the one who stayed, the one who watched, the one who whispered into the void long enough that someone finally listened. And for what it's worth, I'm glad it was me. I left his outpost just before the storm closed in. He didn't flinch. He didn't move. He didn't look away. He just said, tell them I'm still here, even if they don't remember why. So, I am. This is the NPC Report. The NPC Report. We report. They repeat. When I walked away from Bunker Jonesy, I didn't feel like I was leaving a place. I felt like I was exiting a presence. And now that I've left, I keep wondering if he's still there or if he was only there because I was watching. That's the thing about NPCs. We call them non-playable, like that makes them passive. Background noise, just pixels on a cycle. But if you spend enough time with them, if you really look past the gold prices, the default emotes, and the program greetings, you'll realize something. They are playing, just not the same game we are. And maybe they never were. This podcast isn't about answers. It's about the parts of the map you stop noticing. It's about the character standing alone at the edge of a dock, staring into the water before you even drop. It's about asking, who built this loop? Who benefits from it? And what happens when an NPC stops repeating? That's what the NPC report is. A little satire, a little sadness, a whole lot of mystery. We're going to take the characters you overlook and make you wonder if you're the one being controlled. Next week, we'll follow someone different, someone who doesn't pace, doesn't talk, doesn't blink, because she doesn't need to. She stands in the same place every match. You've walked past her 100 times. You probably bought a gun from her. You probably didn't look in her eyes. They're really beautiful. But I did, and something looked back. Her name is Evie, or at least that's what her dialogue box says. But if you watch her long enough, you'll notice something off.
Anyway.
The way she always faces the direction of the storm's final circle. The way she reacts before events happen. The way her smile never reaches her eyes. Some NPCs remember the past, but I think she remembers what didn't happen. Next time on the NPC Report, we go deeper into the shadows, into the silence, into Evie, and maybe into a version of Fortnite you weren't meant to see. Until then, watch who's watching you. Question who gives you quests. And the next time you visit a vendor, ask yourself, do you know why they're here? Because they do. They always do. This is Chris. This has been the NPC Report. We report. They repeat. This is Chris. Thanks for tuning into the world's first GYATT Fortnite podcast. Until next time, keep your shields up, your emotes ready, and remember, it's all about how you see the game. And this has been a parody of Fortnite and of one of Fortnite's most celebrated characters. If you guys like this episode, let me know. Drop a comment. So much going on this week. Huge update. There's a lot of stuff that's hidden that will probably be released between this week and next week, probably setting up for a mid-season or a story event. We know that Fletcher Kane wants Midas dead. There's so much going on the island right now. And if you'd like to follow us, Make sure to follow us on X at GYATTFortCast and on TikTok at GYATTFortnite And if you'd like to leave a tip, you could tip me at Cash App, $ChrisFreshier. Bunker Jonesy is literally one of my favorite characters. So well designed. He's so easy to acknowledge. Somebody that's just been lost in the loop. And I like to say that all of us get lost sometimes. One of my most treasured characters in Fortnite. And I'll see everybody soon.